Hello guys, my name is Anna and I vlog daily from Ukraine since the start of the brutal Russian invasion, because I believe the world needs to know more about my country, Ukraine, during these challenging times. But honestly, most of all, I want to be your Ukrainian friend who provides you with updates, celebrates with you our victories, and hopefully together we will see the end of this nightmare known as Putin, Russia, and their terrorism. Subscribe if you're new to the channel and help us fight the informational war. And for my long-term subscribers and friends, I feel like I need to answer the question that I often get in comments, and that is, why did Russia activate the start of their offensive in the east, and so on. In Ukraine, we are not terrified with this fact, and we have all the evidence this will not stop Ukrainian counter-offensive, but here are some things that we talk about, and I'm going to share them in this video. Well, thing number one, Russia is prepared for a long-term war. When Putin realized he failed his blitzkrieg, he did not manage to take Kyiv and other big cities of Ukraine within 3 days, 3 weeks, or when they saw the strength of Ukrainian resilience, they switched into this slow, exhausting mode of war. And now they are ready to sacrifice as many people as needed, and they are simply on this waiting mode when Ukraine will get tired, when our allies will get tired, and they will continue killing, they will continue invading. I don't believe this will ever happen, because for us this is an existential fight, and to some extent my observations tell me this is an existential fight for all global democracy. That's why we have no other choice but win. Subscribe if you agree. Also, Ukraine is dependent on the support of its partners. And honestly, I think no country in the world, even the largest one, the richest one, would be able to fight this war alone. Because this is a really big war, close to something we remember from the battlefields of the Second World War, and it demands a lot of resources. Ukraine invests a lot. It's not like we're asking for something and not giving. We are giving the most important resource, if it's possible to say so, people. We fight with our people. There are no other international troops, missions, and so on. Of course, there are people who come to support us, but do that voluntarily. And we are super grateful to those who come from different corners of the world and fight in the international legion. But it is a fight of Ukrainians who are mobilized, and the majority on the front lines are Ukrainians. And Russians see that we lack weapons, that we are dependent on others, and they also see how slow some of the supplies can be. And they are using this moment while we are waiting for F-16, or while we are waiting for long-range missiles. They know we don't have them. So if we're waiting, if we're talking, if we're quarreling about that, it means we don't have them. Sanctions that were planned did not work the way it was planned. If you agree with me, also subscribe. Why? Of course, they are good, it's important, they are present, but they managed to find lots of loopholes. They are using them, or they have substituted elements in their supply chain. And the task of sanctions was to stop war. It did not stop at all, and Russia does not show any signs of exhaustion. They have switched their economy into this military way. The population of Russia supports the war, so there is no need to wait for any protests inside or civil war, as many were afraid. Also, mobilization is more or less successful, because for many people from depressive Russian villages, this is just like a dream career, to come, loot, die, and at least send some money to their depressive villages and families. And Russian allies, which are not like real friends, of course, but these are countries like North Korea, countries like Iran, to some extent China. They supply them with the things Russia needs, maybe not always openly, but that is a visible process, and they do not set that many demands as, for example, democratic allies set. Of course, they don't forbid Russia to target civilians, or they don't set any limitations or any expectations. They simply provide Russia with everything that it needs, and the problem is that Russia, since the times of the Soviet Union, has a huge military complex production which Ukraine does not have, and Russia actively participating actually in the destruction of that complex since the times of Ukrainian independence. And of course, these are the things that help Russia fight long, together with the numbers of people they are ready to sacrifice. It's very different from the approach we have in Ukraine and like people have in democratic countries where people care about human life. And also, the supplies that we receive, they are good, they are important, but typically a lot of discussed supplies, these are just for like 2-3 brigades or something. If we had at least 1/3 of our army well equipped, of course it would be easier for us to move faster and to demonstrate more success. But anyway, seeing that Ukrainian counteroffensive is successful in the south, Russians decided to move to a different direction, to distract us, to disseminate the front line, if it's possible to say so, and they moved to the east, and now they have activated in the east. They had enough time to mobilize more people. Once again, they are ready to sacrifice them, and that is something that does not worry them very much. And knowing that winter is coming, and winter is always bad for fighting, they want to hurry up, if it's possible to say so, and to get more territories, at least to get the Donetsk region, so that they can demonstrate something as a victory to Russian people. And they are working in the direction of Avdiivka, in the direction of Liman and Kupiansk. And daily, they lose 1,000 soldiers, approximately 1,000 soldiers, which demonstrates Russia is an orc country. Subscribe if you agree. Because I think even like really bad regimes, they have to care about their own soldiers. They may not care about like Ukrainian soldiers, but why on earth they don't care about their own? This demonstrates what kind of country, what kind of people these are. And also we have to remember that all the destructions, like serious infrastructural destruction, they are in Ukraine. In Russia nothing like that happens, and they have a lot of money to continue this war for a couple of years, so they are simply waiting for us to get tired and slowly chip some new territories. They are losing in their new side of offensive in the east, because they don't take the territories that they want, but they give thousands of soldiers into Ukrainian soils. But this is a very exhausting and a very complicated process that also costs human lives on the Ukrainian side. And I am never tired to tell you that Ukrainian soldiers and Russian soldiers are two very different people, very different from this civilizational point of view. So they want Avdiivka and they want Liman and they want Kupiansk to shape a more convenient front line or something, because at the moment they have serious problems with logistics and they will continue having them. Like, share, subscribe, comment, and help Ukrainians on YouTube, not just me, be more visible, because it is still so sad, like when you type a word Russian and you have lots of views, and when it's something Ukrainian, it's still okay, but not so important or not so interesting. Anyway, I know you're true supporters. I know you're people who care about the future of Ukraine and the future of democracy in general, because I am 100% convinced it is closely connected. So I can say, what is the conclusion of my today's confession? Everything is okay. We are able to control them, but I wanted to explain why they have activated in the east to distract us from the south, also to cause some problems before real frosts fall, because in our part of the world the winter can be severe and it's pretty difficult to fight when frosts are really, really low. Plus in the east, in the south of Ukraine, it's colder than, for example, where I live. We have a big country, guys, and we have to get all of this country back to the borders of 1991. Subscribe, please. Thank you for buying me coffees, becoming my patrons. I value your friendship. I value your support and beliefs. You are a real inspiration. Subscribe to my Instagram, Threads, and Twitter. Join my Discord. We have a beautiful website with some of merch. All the links are in the description of this video. And thank you so much for standing with Ukraine. Slava Ukraini!